Hello folks, Jonas G. Lafayette reporting. July 15, 2021. Right on the heels of the explosive, figuratively speaking, revelations from Georgia, we now have bombshell revelations from the Arizona Senate hearing concerning the Arizona edit. Just today, Senate President Karen Fann chaired a hearing featuring the three figures from the edit. Doug Logan from Cyber Ninja, Ben Cotton from Cypher, and Senate Liaison Ken Bennett, who is a former Arizona Secretary of State. It's worth noting that the hearing was watched by very many people. In fact, they were probably not expecting so many people to be watching the hearing. Consistent with the transparency by which the edit itself has been conducted, today's hearing was also live streamed on the internet. In fact, the audio experienced some difficulty because there were so many people who were watching the hearing. This was a fact acknowledged by President Karen Fann herself at the beginning of the hearing. In any case, these are the main points that were revealed in the hearing. While I did watch the entirety of the hearing and examine the evidence revealed therein, the following highlights have been summarized by Clever Journeys. I have provided the link to their page in the description box below, so credit where credit's due. First, during the hearing, the editors reported that there were thousands of duplicated Bellottis that are either missing serial numbers or had serial numbers printed over a dark black Bellotti identification box that were unreadable. Because of this, according to Ken Bennett, it is now impossible to determine whether a Bellotti has in fact been duplicated more than once. I would say it is not impossible that we are looking at a similar situation to that has been uncovered in Georgia. Meanwhile, on the cybersecurity front, Ben Cotton of Cypher focused on the critical need for the router and the Splunk log data to be obtained from the county. The county and the Secretary of State office did in fact report a system breach in November. Furthermore, the last malware and operating system or security patch update was in August 2019. When the Dominion software was originally installed. As the GOP president, Dr. Kelly Ward, has said, this means that your home computer is probably more secure than the allocation equipment. According to Mr. Cotton, quote, it would take less than 10 minutes to gain system-level access, end quote. Cypher also reports that security event data only goes back to February 5th, 2021. The security log was only designed to hold 20 megabytes of data. However, strangely, on March 11, 2021, there were 37,646 queries for a blank password that had the effect of overriding the data prior to February 5th. Finally, and perhaps most damning, there were suspicious anonymous logons at the system level that do not follow the pattern of normal Windows behavior. Could this be why the Board of Supervisors of Maricopa County is not willing to provide the routers? Speaking of security, the Maricopa County Board of Supervisors have been unable to validate the security of the allocation system. It would seem that only Dominion has been able to verify the ICP configuration. In order to independently validate the configuration, cipher needs the authentication forms held by the Munion. This means that the Munion was really the one running the allocation, and the Maricopa County Board of Supervisors did in fact hand over the keys to the allocation to that company. Now we move on to the paper analysis. If you remember, very early on after the allocation, there were accusations that Sharpies were causing problems with the Bellottis. This was called Sharpiegate. This was largely dismissed as a, quote, conspiracy theory. But now the Arizona editors has revealed something that may have validated the so-called, quote, conspiracy theory. The Maricopa County has insisted that they use the vote secure paper that would prevent bleed-throughs caused by, for example, Sharpies. However, Doug Logan's team has found that very many large number of Bellottis were in fact used very thin paper stock, not the vote secure paper that the county has insisted that they used. Many of the Bellottis had dark marks that were caused by bleed-throughs as a result of the thin paper stock and the use of Sharpies. There were also some reports that everyone doing the allocation in Maricopa County were given a Sharpie and were told to use the Sharpie. These dark marks caused severe discrepancies that should have rendered the Bellottis invalid, as they can result in the Bellottis being read as an overvote. The Bellottis printed on demand at the voting center on allocation day in fact had the worst calibration issue. More than 168,000 Bellottis were affected as such. Overall, Bellotti calibration was off by an average of 1,000% in some batches. That was not all that the Cyber Ninjas had for us. They also recommended highly that some canvassing was done based on the data that they have reviewed. There were voter roll anomalies that affected more than 107,000 Bellottis. Get this, folks. There were more than 74,000 mail-in Bellottis that had no clear record of having been sent out. They just appeared. More than 11,000 people who voted did not show up on the most recent voter rolls, but they do appear in an older database. Almost 4,000 people who voted were registered only after October 15th. This is a violation of state law, as they had not resided in Arizona long enough. Finally, approximately 18,000 people voted on allocation day but were subsequently removed from the roll. They also reported that Maricopa County did not turn over images of the envelopes, even though these images had been subpoenaed by the Senate in January. It is amazing how these people are not already in prison. Now keep in mind, this is not the final report from the editors. This is just a hearing on their progress. Karen Fain herself has insisted that there will be no preliminary report. We will have to wait until around August to get the final report. Many people's reaction to this hearing has been well represented by the statement released by Arizona Senator Wendy Rogers, a former U.S. Air Force fighter pilot, a fighter both in combat and in politics. Senator Rogers tweeted, "I have heard enough. With tens of thousands of Bellottis mailed without being requested, the over 10,000 people who voted after registering after November 3rd, the failure of Maricopa to turn over the 40% machines, the passwords that the Munion still refuses to turn over, and the tens of thousands of unauthorized queries demonstrating how insecure the allocation was, I call for Biden electors to be recalled to Arizona, and a new allocation must be conducted. Arizona's allocators must not be awarded fraudulently, and we must do this right. There you go, folks. I urge you to continue your support of the editors. You can support the editors by following the link that is included in the description box below. That's all, folks. I have been Jonas G. Lafayette. I will see you on the next occasion. Bye.